And hello, everyone. I'm Dan Lutz, and I'm here with my co-host, who did not say anything, missed his cue. And we're here on the front lines in the battle against the deep state, the cabal, the Illuminati, and all those that wish to enslave all of humanity for their own selfish reasons. How's it going, Tank?
Excuse me.
We're rolling here.
So
it's
really
a smooth introduction.
We're getting ready to launch off another big week. And last, you know, it's 30 days to my birthday, right? Until I turn 44. And, you know, I always like to take the 30 days before my birthday and, like, lock it down, you know, lock my diet down. Usually come up with some consistent workout that I'll do every day for the next 30 days. So, but I always blow it out like the last day. Like I always make sure I overeat. So like today I've been overeating all day. Like anything, like soda and you know, candy bars and everything, just so I can you know, boost my metabolism today. So
I get it. You gotta double dose, right? So you can boost shock your metabolism, your I'm not even on it.
Well, yeah, it's just, yeah, you're right. You basically your body will burn whatever you put in it.
Yeah,
that's the rule, right? So if you have one cheat day every week, your metabolism will shoot up to burn that, and then the next day your body will stay right there. And then if you only put 5,000 calories in on Sunday, then Monday you only put 2,000 calories in your body, it'll burn, 3,000 additional calories. That's how bodybuilders cut up for competition.
Oh,
So,
I didn't know that.
I use that as a rule.
Wow. So once,
yeah, and then by the end of the week, it'll level off.
So you
and
can't.
then you
So
have another cheat day.
Oh, so you can't do a cheat day every other day?
No, because you'd still be taking in too many calories.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting.
But my cheat day usually starts on Friday night and ends Sunday morning. So like that.
Yeah. So it's a cheat 36 hours.
Yeah. Maybe on top of our game. Too much going on.
Apparently so. Apparently too much going on. Yeah.
So what's exciting, man?
Well, I've been
they look like interviewing and really accentuating with Flynn. Tell me.
Well, I'm not exactly certain. Everything is going on because there seems to be a lot happening, and it's all kind of a lot of the same things, right? And so you don't know what's exactly going to be pushing through, at any one moment. But I was a little off topic, but I've been watching BitChute. Right, and it's like I would watch YouTube, and it was refreshing. it actually had a lot more stuff that was very like what's really going on, as opposed to what's coming through YouTube. So I think it's a good idea to really just use the tools available to us in the most effective way. Though they did release some of the censorship on YouTube for a little bit, right? And we saw the numbers, and I saw that immediately. Our numbers started going up and up and up, and now they're back to where they were. So they obviously they are. Throttling everyone back, and they're dropping a lot of channels. So why are we there? There's no expansion. I mean, the whole concept of being on YouTube is that they have the audience. Well, they can have the audience, but not let them see you. So what's the point, right? So out of habit, we stick with YouTube. Out of not wanting to learn something new, right? We stick with what we know. So in watching BitChute, there was some very refreshing things. Actually, why don't we just take a look? Let me share my screen for BitChute. Now, X22 is over there, and In Pursuit of Truth is over there. So those two are good. Showing it. Oh, there he is. Okay, so I'm showing it to the audience. Let me share it with you. Now, this is just what I was watching. It was X22. And, there's likes, right? So you hit the likes, and a lot of things very familiar, and I am subscribed and notifications are turned on. But there's also a tip or pledge button over here. But if we go up to just the home page, see what we have here. This is what I'm subscribed to, X22 and In Pursuit of Truth. So obviously that's what it's showing me. But I'm also subscribed to Proud Boys. Let's watch this one. It's a very short piece. Proud Boy gets around mandatory mask rule at Target.
What's word for see about that. The medical condition. That's the new business. Well, the law says I'm allowed in here with the medical condition, and due to HIPAA laws, I don't have to share that information as long as the Fourth Amendment. So, it's also against the law to deny service to somebody with a disability. All right, thank you.
Going right in. Little chuckle at the end there. So that was, there's a lot there on the Proud Boys. There's some Antifa hits. Oh, here's this one. It's interesting. These are very short. That guy did just not like that poster. No, I have no idea what that is called. Squirt. With the two guys in an embrace. I guess just didn't want that being seen. So, let's see. What else? Let's see here. Seattle Antifa startled by megaphone, pulls a mask down. They just yell at him through a megaphone, and he turns around and puts his mask on. Oh, we caught your face. So it's pretty simple. So here's also an interesting. So this is X22 Uncensored, right? There's two of them down here. So these are ones that he can't put on YouTube. So you can only find them here. So let's just look at this one for a moment. We're not going to go ahead and play it because we can guess what it's all about. But he says right here, you look at, he's got 32,966 subscribers here, right? And the views on this one is 33,009. So he's got more views on this than he has subscribers. All right. Give a like. So I think we could do very well at being here on BitChute. Better than we are on YouTube.
Yeah. I'll just start. We'll put clips out there. Tell people we're good. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
I think the way we can handle this, though, because we could just stop YouTube altogether, just abandon it, right? But we won't catch all of our subscribers to know, right? They'll just say, "What happened? They just stopped all of a sudden."
Yeah.
And instead, I think what we can do is we can still do this a bit earlier in the day, right? Maybe I don't know, 3 or 4 hours earlier. Go ahead then and edit it. But when we finish whatever we're talking about, because sometimes we don't know what we're going to talk about until we get on, we start talking, right? So we can at the end do a YouTube review of what we just covered. Then when we edit it, we cut off just that end portion. That's the YouTube review, and we post that on YouTube and say, come over to BitChute and watch the whole one, right? That way we can get everyone to come over. They can still get maybe the slight review helps them, and some people don't want to come over and see that particular because it's not covering what they want to know. That's would be a benefit to some people, because some people tune in just they want the first 2 minutes. What happened with Kim? Hey, what happened with Kim? Because we may have forgot.
Yeah, of course.
All right, so that way, we can bring everyone over and just start building on BitChute, and really just leave YouTube alone, because everyone sees the censorship creeping up on YouTube, and they're just removing channels left and right, and I expect that they would end up removing what we're doing anyway. Now, maybe a year from now, they've been taken over and they've made into a utility, and all their stuff disappears, and we could then start this as a start supplying it. But by that time, we'll be on BitChute, maybe some other platforms too. Putting out the message.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a great idea. I'm going with it. So we rock it out.
All right.
I'll have to set up the Speak project over there too, and so we can get some things rocking.
Yeah. Really. I think it's excellent.
We just passed 12,000 on YouTube, but it's so fascinating because I get hit up every single week with people. They're like, "Man, where you been?" I'm like, "Dude, I'm live every day." Like, sometimes multiple times in a day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what else can I give for you? You know what I mean? It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I know. So,
obviously they're not sharing our stuff.
Yeah, right. So, this is the popular page. This is what they have as popular. So it's got quite a variety here. So, is evidence that the hospitals are lying, right? So we can see this is building. Here's this is pretty funny. Someone put this on here for Hillary, right? It says, instead of it says vote on her video, they put Gitmo on her face mask. Have you seen this Hillary commercial where she says vote? This is the fashion statement for the springtime is wear your mask. Right, so they're trying to still enforce this, right? Keep the fear alive by everyone wearing a mask, right? And it's ridiculous. Yeah, but now someone put Gitmo on her mask. That's kind of interesting. 4chan, it cancels the left, so 4chan is still moving, even without Q. So anyway, so I think there's plenty of material here. I can see this is Joe Biden behind here. A nice embrace of this woman. I'm being sarcastic, obviously. Elon versus the establishment. That's interesting. Well, there's a lot of interesting stuff here on BitChute. So I don't think we would be bored, and if we even do half of what's In Pursuit of Truth or X22 are doing, then we're doing great, right? So they obviously like good content, and I think we provide a much better content, than where we started a year ago, right? Yeah.
Right.
So all right, so let's see, let's move on. I got a couple of things that some Twitters I was just starting to look at. This is the Maine governor Janet Mills signs a bill ending religious and personal exemptions for veterans. Isn't that wonderful? Well, that looks like it's an old one.
Wait.
No, that's old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, someone sent that in the group I was just clicking through. So here's an interesting one. This is hypoxia is a medical condition. Why you wouldn't need to wear a mask. So in case you wanted to, I'll volunteer some information. Everybody gets hypoxia from wearing a mask.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. It's like I have a medical condition. It's called I can't live on carbon dioxide and breathing my own waste. That's why I breathe out. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, I think that this is ending. From all the protests that are happening around the world, even not just in America, but this is happening worldwide. The other thing that seems to be catching on is where we go one, we go all. Little blurbs people are putting up around the world. QAnon has been posting those, saying this is a worldwide movement. to wake up people to the evil that these people have been perpetrating on the planet. And I think that this is really this meaning this coronavirus, this Conja-19, is really, people realize that it is a con job. It is fake. And then everyone's going to realize these people ruined our businesses for their own gain, right? They ruin our businesses, our lives, our ability to get food, made our health worse, all because they wanted to do a political maneuver to get rid of Donald Trump. What's the Streisand effect? Everyone does. Yeah, I think we're going to have the world voting for Trump. The way it looks at this point, because he's going to be much higher coming out of this, because everyone is opening their businesses now, and people are not wearing masks outdoors, and they're not going to. So they failed. They failed. Let me switch my background to another one of the Conja 19's backdrops. I was going to make some more of these, and I was going to put like that, the focus on they failed part. Let's try this one. There we go.
There's a constitutional lawyer who came out about this, and he wrote this whole thing up on Facebook. And he's like, every part of this, it's not a law. They cannot pass a law to tell you to stay home, to wear a mask. They cannot to tell you to close your business. These are all things that are our constitutional rights.
Yeah.
To make a living for ourselves. Every one of these things has been done to us unlawfully. The way they presented it is absolutely criminal. The fire marshals giving out tickets for people having a place open is ridiculous. I'm actually, I was writing this up, and I was, I realized, a lot of this is, us imprisoning ourselves, and they have power as long as we allow them to.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I'm very, very grateful right now, because the assembly in New York, it's like, they're ready to go. So the president's already brought it to my attention. She said, look, these businesses are about to be really buried. Now, this is a place where we can start the conversation that everybody's affected by, right?
Right.
So we can bring things up and challenge, right from the beginning, because the reality is it needs to be presented properly and stop being presented as if they have this control, because they don't. And I think that people are really starting to catch on. Wait a minute, do they have this right? And they don't.
They don't.
And it affects everybody, right? So, but the problem is nobody can make educated decisions because they are misinformed about what the virus is, right? So,
yeah.
I think actually
I saw the doctors, one of the doctors in of the two in Kern County that came out and said that the numbers, we ran the numbers. We had 5,200 patients. The death, the mortality rate is 0.03. This is not a problem, and they need to reevaluate right now. But that YouTube took that down. So this is it made it onto Laura Ingraham. It's made it onto Tucker Carlson, right? And but now he did a interview with Big Tree. What's his first name? I forgot. Was it Jeff Big Tree?
Del
Big Tree. So okay, Del Big Tree. And went over the same things again, and he's really pushing, and he said this was never meant to be any kind of protest type interview. This was just local TV came in to ask us some questions. Right? They didn't like call a press conference. The local TV came in to ask questions, and it was just a local TV broadcast that went viral. So now but they're pushing it. And I said that the numbers are not supporting this. Sweden is not done this, and their numbers are no different. than ours, so they didn't get much more infection rates and bigger death rates. It's the same everywhere. Now we have the CDC admitting that in readjusting their numbers, they cut them in half for the death toll, going down to 35,000.
Now, how did that happen? How did the death toll go from 66,000 down to 37 or whatever it is?
Yeah, and they had to admit it's not as it's not any more dangerous than the regular flu. They had to admit it, so it's admitted right now. Right. So why are we closed? There's no reason to be closed anymore. Yeah. There's no reason. The CDC has said it's the same as the flu. We don't close anything for the regular flu. People that are sick with the regular flu still go to work and infect everyone else in the office, and then they take their sick days. Everyone says, "Hey, yeah, high five. Thanks for making me sick." It's really ridiculous.
Yeah. Put on plastic.
I'm not everyone. Sometimes it's welcome and sometimes it's not, right? But I recall working with a group of people in the labs, the medical labs at Kaiser, right? And sometimes people would get sick, and then it would be like a chain reaction. They came in for work, and you can see the next domino falls, the next domino, and it goes in a round, right? All of a sudden, right. I don't know. I got a lot of overtime when that happened. Make it up for the people that were sick.
Yeah, every business here in New York, they spend all this money too, putting up these plastic plexiglass shields, right? that they sit in front of the register, right? Like, so now do I got to come in with a mask, right? I got to wear a shield. So now they completely dehumanized everyone, right? Everyone's afraid to talk to each other. Everyone's afraid to get too close. They don't want to be offensive, So they've taken political correctness and they've applied it now to a disease, and then they've magnified it with ignorance. It's just it's a comedy of errors, really. Like, this whole thing, it's like people have got to take their own authority back, right? Now, employers can't do it. Employees can't do it, right? Mm-hmm. Because, we don't have a choice. Like, employees don't have a choice. Like, you can go to work or not, right? It's like if they're not hiring you. But this woman came out today. I saw this down in Raleigh. There was a rally. And she came out and she was wearing her nursing gear. And she said, "I'm a nurse in Raleigh at one of the hospitals." And she said that we are normally staffed at 110%. She goes, "And I'm telling you, the media is lying to you. Because we are staffed at 60%, and that's why it seems so crazy." Right? So they've crushed the medical industry, right? That people will, after this is over, the one thing that they've said right, and it infuriates me every time I hear it, they're like, nothing will ever be the same. Well, nothing will ever be the same because you just destroyed the economy, right? And everyone's afraid to go to a hospital because now the gig is up. Yeah.
Well, now people are dying, right? Because they went to the hospital. So who wants to go? Right? They're putting people on ventilators, make you sign the paper. So you got to really sign these, right? You want to be on a ventilator, right? It's like, then people go ahead, and then that's it. They're dead. They're done. It's an execution chamber.
Well, and to be honest, it really is something that comes into question here because, in the master plan, that we're always talking about, President Trump went above and beyond to make sure everybody had ventilators, right? Now, I'm assuming he didn't have the right information, but if the ventilators have contributed to deaths, right? Because they're causing it's oxygen failure, right? The oxygen molecule can't get into the actual hemoglobin of the cells. So it's like the blood can't carry the oxygen throughout the body. So if that's the case, and then ventilators, anybody who did any research, but especially the people in the hospital, the doctors, the people making decisions, they should know this, right?
Right.
Like, if we know it as just regular people, shouldn't they know it? And shouldn't they be the ones who are the experts in it and be the ones all over this saying, we can't use ventilators, this isn't going to work?
Right.
Once they see that trend, and immediately pull back the ventilators instead of continuing this propaganda?
Yeah, I would think so. You know, I think that that they're the ones that should be making the decisions, not the people in the CDC.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I don't think, to be honest, I'm hoping that there's changes being made, that are, behind the scenes, I guess. But if President Trump continues to promote this, they talk about the ventilators and all this stuff, right? And meanwhile, people continue to die, and even those 37,000 numbers, I guarantee you those are hyperinflated, right?
Well, he's not talking about ventilators anymore. But he made a transition.
He talked about it. He talked about it on Saturday. He said we become a ventilator. Finding ventilators everywhere.
Well, yeah, but okay. Well, yeah, he's mentioning it and as a reference point to point out to people that he took care of it as a problem, right? Because everyone said this is a problem. He took care of it. That's the only way he's mentioning.
But that's my point, though. So he made a political move about thousands of people's lives. Right? He made a political move. Wow, this is what people think it is, so I'm just going to do it. So I'm hoping he must not know. But at this point, does he still not know?
I think he knows.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I do think he knows, but I do think it's also more a matter that it's part of this. This was really covered by a couple of other people that are out there now. In the last 2 days, I'm hearing this come up on X22. I had come up on In Pursuit of Truth, and probably other places that Bards of War. That's right. You have to awaken everybody, because if he came out in the very beginning and said, "Listen, I'm closing down the flights to China. There is a massive plot coming from China to basically infect the world, and they also they have co-conspirators within the U.S. government, and that these people are into basically creating a death system, and they want to kill off a bunch of people. They want us to get ventilators, and they want us to put everyone on them, and they're going to leave them for dead. Everyone that gets on a ventilator will die," and just go through. And if he laid it all out back then, he'd already be out of office. So he has to use this extraordinarily slow process of waking up everybody, bringing everybody together, so that, which is what's happening now, as people are waking up.
That's
and
a
they're
good point.
right, and they're now saying, "Hey, these people are not in it for us. They're in it for themselves. Look at Governor Newsom. Look at Governor Cuomo. Look at Governor Adolf. What was it? Wesley?
Adolf von Liechtenstein.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So all these dictatorial ones. There's one of the other videos I sent you from BitChute. We didn't come across it. It was an interesting one. It was a guy complaining about he couldn't buy seeds and couldn't buy any gardening supplies. It's all roped off inside wherever he was shopping, right? So you couldn't get to it through the yellow line, right?
I mean, that's some apocalypse stuff. I mean, what are you talking about? Like, how does that affect? I mean, is there a big problem with home gardening that is like causing the disease to outbreak? I mean, what's the logic?
Well, obviously there is logic behind it, but it's not stuff that people can compute, right? Because the logic is they are trying to starve us.
Right.
That's on top of this.
That's the truth.
They want to shut down all the food supply. And what did Trump use his powers for? his defense production acts powers. No, Tyson, you're going to keep your operations running. We're not going to shut down meat production. You're not going to shut down all of these things. So yeah, this is the thing is most people these scenes of like people dumping their crops, right? Because they literally can't get them through the chain, right? Because the people are not ordering the stores. Now, wait a minute. We don't have less people. Yes, we have less restaurants, and I'm sure that there's some more waste, right? But that comes out of opening restaurants. A lot of people, don't eat all the food that they order. But besides that, you could be pushing all that food off as free to the companies that are doing dehydrating foods for extended stores. For the in case of apocalypse, here eat. You have your meals ready to eat. And these Patriot Supply type organizations. Give them the food. Have them go ahead and process it. Have them expand. And make it a priority. Right. This free food that they're dumping. That'd be a good reason for the Defense Production Act. Who wants some volunteers to go to work to do that? Hey, you're not making money elsewhere. Well, we'll give you a paycheck. There's but anyway, this is all ending now. It's all ending. It's right now. It's everyone's opening, and they're saying this is bogus. It's like going to be like night and day. One of these days this week, everyone just like, okay, I'm done with it. I'm going to work. I'm going to movies.
Well,
Go bang
I did see it today. And I'll tell you, there's something to be said. If you make people feel like you made them look stupid, right? Now, let's at the end of the day, it's amazing. People fear death and public speaking, right? And the reason why they fear public speaking is they don't want to be embarrassed. So it's amazing that one of the things that most will motivate us is we don't like to do things that are embarrassing. Well, think about how ridiculous this is. You've got us walking around wearing masks to try to basically to kill us all. That's embarrassing.
Right,
It's embarrassing we went along with it.
And who's basically training the people to do that? The people in Hollywood, the celebs. Those are the ones out there wearing their masks. You got to wear your mask. So they're using this is their system of control, right? They have the Hollywood elites that are out there. Oh, where's Tom Hanks? Where is he? I haven't heard from him. Is he okay?
Yeah.
I saw the newspaper, a clip where it said he's dead. So,
Yeah, allegedly it's running here in a couple of days.
Yeah. So
all of the it's interesting because we see how they are censoring everything that's true and then they claim that they want to now. My argument to YouTube and Facebook is, where's your science? They shut down anything anti-vax. Well, give me your science. Show me how it is that you have tested. Show me the double-blind placebo test, which is the standard for every single FDA-approved drug.
Oh, it's an emergency. We don't have time to do that.
Right. It's an emergency. Right. That's what it is. Mm-hmm. Show me what the concomitant effects of using multiple vaccines, or what the effects of using concomitant vaccines on a newborn from 0 to 1 year old, right? 25 pounds in average weight. How it is that the aluminum being injected intramuscularly into their body isn't toxic, but it is toxic to a grown man for 5 micrograms to be injected or to be swallowed, right? For a grown man of 5'10", 175 pounds, that's toxic. But 4,000 micrograms injected into a tiny little baby, that's not. And then on top of that, imagine if every one of these millennials has been injected that way. You know what happens? You have a new normal. So you've diminished their potential of who they can be, because all of them are affected on some level, and you don't even know it. Except for the elites, because their kids didn't get vaccinated. Right? They didn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So, And essentially you give them a decisive advantage from birth. In addition to having all the money that they would ever need for anything, they've never had to have a stressful moment in their life about how to pay for college or how to pay the bills. And like I said yesterday, Alexandria Cortez. You know what? I think she's crazy, but you know what? The other day, she nailed it when she said, "Mnuchin, you don't know what it's like to say $1,200 to get people for 10 weeks in modern society is absolutely ridiculous." But here's what they're doing. They're using this kind of nonsense, right? So they're taking the ones who are the obvious rich elite, and then they're taking those who appear to be in the grind, right? Who are working for the people. But they're both playing for the same team to kind of implement socialism, right? So those guys all agree, okay, we're going to be the bad guys, and you guys get to look like heroes because you implement socialism. And then in the end, we'll still run things.
Yeah, well,
That's it.
yeah. Well, I don't like their idea.
Their idea sucks.
Yeah, their idea sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we have a better idea. Replace them. Send them all to the island. Remove them from society. They are criminals, and what do we do with criminals? And we're going to need a really big prison, right? I don't know if it's 100,000 or 500,000 people or 2 million people. We're billions, right? We're billions here, right? We don't need these people destroying our lives because they think that they know better, or they know better for themselves, and they treat us as just some kind of herd animal. And that's what this is all about. They're better. They think that they're better. They know better. Whether it's the bloodline thing or they're just delusional, they think that they're better, and all that they keep doing is proving that they are worse. They're worse than anything, and they need to be removed from society.
Well, and I do not see, I swear, if I see Steve Mnuchin tell me one more time what he's doing, in fact, even watching that, I watched that whole thing that you shared with Mike, with all these CEOs, and it makes my stomach turn every time.
Yeah, but if you don't watch that stuff, then you don't catch those little gems about the post office, right?
No, you're right, but to sit there and pander to these guys, the CEOs, and they're talking about what they're doing as if it's exceptional. They're like, "Oh, we have weekly conference calls with 38,000 employees that are at home." Like, big deal.
But this is part of the show, the Kabuki Theater, to get the people that are out there that are frightened not to be frightened. This is the comfort food. This is the stuff that people can digest and say, "Oh, look, the CEOs are all going back to work. Oh, they're there and they're doing things." It's for those people that are really still asleep, right? And they need to wake up. I mean, in my opinion, they could open up tomorrow every single business that was closed, and no one would, everything would just roll, right? And that's my opinion. But there's other people out there that you could open everything, and they would just still be in their homes, right? And so how do you coax them back out? You've got to do these little tiny shows. And the great thing about Trump is he is a showman, right? He's able to basically communicate this way, and as a CEO of businesses and that, you've got to bring in the people, right? And that's so I think that's the reason for this. And but I get it, this is a lot. I would term this in the hype category. So I hate when you're into like business opportunities and they feed you a bunch of hype, right?
Yep.
And they keep hyping you and hyping you. The last one, someone invited me to it. I don't go to most of these things, but I respected the individual that invited me, and I want to support him, right? So I showed up, right? This was a month ago. And and the guy was the intro guy, the guy that was just starting, before the main guy comes in. He's talking to everybody, keeping everybody engaged. All right, great. So he's talking and talking, and how fantastic this was, and it was like over the top, and this is the best kind of thing, and we're going to roll out our terms and conditions for the website. And I just said, I'm out of here. He hyped the terms and conditions for the website, and like that is like was so fantastic that they had their terms and conditions up. It's like, no, I couldn't take it anymore. So I get it, I don't want to be hyped in that way, because I'm already awake about terms and conditions. I'm already awake about what happened with this con job 19. But for the people that don't know, they have to wake up, and they have to get back to work, and they have to go out of the house, and they have to not wear a mask, and they have to hug their neighbors, and do barbecues, and meet everyone in the. Everyone should do a big block party. Get out of the house, meet your neighbors, do a potluck, put a big table in the middle of the road, and invite your neighbors out. A nationwide potluck.
I'm getting, I'm really, I've been researching this, and I've been writing some documents and getting things ready, and getting a formal proposal ready to put forth to propose a motion for a resolution with the New York Assembly to essentially be like, to basically acknowledge that these are not laws. These are no laws. Under jurisprudence, any law that violates our constitutional rights, or anything appearing to be a law, any statute that is pretending to present itself as a law, is a no law. It violates our constitutional rights. So let's check down all the ways this violates our rights, right? Our rights which are unalienable, which you cannot take from us. Right? And you know what? And I'll tell you, all it takes is what you win this once. You challenge on this that it's unconstitutional, and that will ring across every place, right? And you don't even have to take it to the court, because really these are battles that are won right there in the business, right? So you put up the sign, you put the notice right in the window, and you acknowledge, right? Like I'll tell you what, I'm going to write these letters to the Guardian of Camelot, and every single business that is associated with the Guardian of Camelot, right? So every single business is a member of the Guardian of Camelot Association. We can make this the most formidable group of people in the entire world. Because if you have a business, go to the Guardian of Camelot, sign up, we'll just count you a member, right? It's free, you go in, sign up, and I will send out the forms for everyone. And we will use the exact same forms, we will refer to the exact same laws. I will have it reviewed by a formidable team of constitutional law professionals, including a constitutional lawyer who's already beaten this stuff, and basically proven the IRS is garbage, right? And it's a private organization that we do not have to pay taxes to. And we'll put it out there, and every single person can take this form, and they can put it in, the windows of their organization, right? And I'm saying that because as an organization, there's 500 different businesses right now in the Guardian of Camelot. I think if I were to check it back, beyond the Creators Network, there's probably another 300. So probably about 800 businesses total, right? So if we had like 50,000 businesses in there, right, that would be a pretty hard group to say no to, because that's not just individuals, right? That's businesses and all the people, all the constituents, all the people that spend money there. So I'm going to put those documents up. I'll make them real public. I'll send them out to every single one of our members so that they have them, so they know exactly what we're reading. And the authority that we're calling on is the authority of the people. Because you cannot keep and continue to violate the constitutional rights of the people and continue to force the people to remain ignorant by lying to them every day. And the only businesses that should be out of business is the mainstream media right now. They are a wretch. They are the scourge of humanity. Yeah. It's disgusting that they have perpetuated these nonstop, perpetual lies on the people to the point where no one even knows what to do. They're scared to kill their.
these poor elderly people that are so isolated, their kids won't even come see them because they don't want to get them sick.
Right.
That is so malicious. I don't even know what to do with it.
Yeah. Well, this is, you know, one of those things why we really need to get these people out of society, right? And we have to come together and understand what's happened to us, right? To restrict us from our from being together, you know, to touch you know, our grandparents, right, and give them a hug. You know, it's not a death sentence, right? You know, and there is medicine now. Even of the people who catch this, right, and they have other conditions, their death rate is still 0.1, right? It's even the numbers are really keep dropping as to how dangerous this actually is. So, you know, and these other drugs that I know on this round table that Trump did, they brought up that new there was one with the new drug, right? That's $1,000 a pill with a really odd name, hard to say name. Well, it's going to be hard to swallow that pill, right? But the hydroxychloroquine is easy to swallow, and it's showing promise. So if this was readily available, anytime you got the flu, right, you'd be able to wipe out the flu every time, right? And then you develop an immunity to it, right? So this actually could end the flu forever, which is a horrible thing for the pharmaceutical industry, right? They don't want to end the flu, but this would do it. All right, so you know, it's just that it's why is it so restricted? It's obvious that they've known about this for a long time, probably 20 years at least, that they knew that this was wiping out the flu. But why is it that they're not? Why isn't it anywhere near even known about? Right? It's the same way like when I discovered the cure for MS. Multiple sclerosis. You know, it's a surgery like angioplasty for your heart, but it's angioplasty for your brain. It's the artery that's carrying blood up, gets plaque, restricting the blood flow. That with less blood flow, the iron gets left behind in the brain and it short circuits it. It's such a simple concept as to what the problem is, but instead, medical research, drugs, you know, people's misery is what they're making money off of. This is the sorcery. You know, a guy told me that pharmaceuticals were sorcery. I like when I was in my, I don't know, mid-20s, something like that. And and it was like one of the things, you know, that stuck in the back of my head. You know, I said, I don't see why he says that. But now it's really obvious to me why it's sorcery. Right? Why, you know, what that concept of what they're doing to the population, right, is to feed off of our energies, right, and off of death. It's more like necromancy.
Yep.
So this is it's a death industry. They make money off of death. The only ones that should really be making money off of death is mortuaries. Right? And we should strive to put them out of business by living and living. There'll always be mortuaries, but this is where we have to really, you know, change where society does not promote death to make money, right? It should promote life to make money. It's also the concept of the debt-based system, right? The debt-based system is a negative system. You need a positive system. You need a positive capitalism, not a negative capitalism, not a debt-based capitalism, right? And yeah, actually, I've decided to rename my my system that I was looking to put into place through the cryptocurrency blockchain. I used to call it, you know, cooperative capitalism, and I'm going to call it positive capitalism, because it's about a positive function, right? And it's not collecting from the people, right? It's always giving out to the people instead of collecting from. Instead of draining the people, you're infusing people. And all the concepts that people will come back and say, "Oh, that'll cause inflation," and I said, "So what? There's more coming." It's let the prices go. It doesn't matter if it goes up because you're always getting more, and no one's taking away from you, or at least meaning the government's not taking away from you. So this is something that needs to change. It needs to change, at the level of which way money is handled in society. If doctors are paid for the amount of live patients that they have, and healthy patients, the more healthy, the more longer they live, the more the doctor makes, people live a long time and happily. Right? If it is attached to happiness, I remember I like what you said. Is like, how do you judge success? Not monetary, not by using money. What is your gauge to say how successful your venture is going to be? Happiness is a very good one. Long life is a good one. So we need to re-gear, retool, and build a society that's based upon, a positive, not a negative, on life, not death.
Yeah, I agree.
So on that note, I'm going to change my backdrop from the Qanon job.
Stop the Qanon job.
Stop the Qanon job.
I just hearing this and talking, I'm really, I'm amped up to bring everybody together and really put together solid, clear documentation. Making statements. I'm gonna call Michelle Walker right after this and actually get started on it and try to put these pieces together, because it's very clear. These are clear and obvious violations of our constitutional rights, religious freedoms. I mean, they won't let assemblies gather together. They won't allow people to even pursue alternative options to maintaining their health. Right?
Yeah.
They have this whole thing. I mean, it's the longer it's gone on, it's so wretched. I mean, it's such an awful violation, and I the more I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, this actually is a better way to challenge these people that are just completely corrupt. Because I think, and I'm not sure exactly how to do it, but we're going to find out. Because if they're going to continue to act as a medical proxy for us, right, which is a violation of our rights as well, if they're going to continue to do that and make decisions and dictate mandates, right, and present them as absolute laws when they are our employees, right, then they should, at very least, provide the evidence as to why they're making that decision, right?
Well, it should also apply to them as well.
Oh, imagine that.
Yeah.
It should apply to them. Good call.
Yeah. Well, I always go back to that one because they always give out these rules, and it's always they're excluded from their own rules. That's why you can have insider trading in Congress, right? Which is one of the main reasons why they can ensnare the new people coming into the path to the dark side, right? They lay these little tiny crumbs leading down the path by insider trading. Oh, you made money. Well, now you kind of got to pay us back, right? We gave you the inside scoop. You made some money. You want more? So, but that's insider trading. Everyone else, it's against the law. They're the ultimate insider. Why should they be able to make money on that?
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I agree. All this stuff, like, they should not be allowed to capitalize when they make decisions that cause failure, and then they are able to find ways to profit off of it, and we suffer as the people. Yeah. This is the thing that has disgusted me all along.
even this meeting that President Trump was having even there at the White House, they should not even be allowed to meet, any of them, none of them, if there's not fair representation from the people.
Yeah.
And there should be real people there who work for their companies, real people who are affected by it, just all of them, always. There should be people there, because they exist in a different place. Now I get it, you got to have representation, right? There has to be like real representation. It can't be these figureheads anymore who, combine to own everything. Right? How have they ever acted in the best interest of the people? Not one time. Why are they given special privilege to go and sit in the White House to discuss how they're going to continue to move, us around? Absolutely not. I'll tell you, everybody out there, you should be furiously, actively talking about this, getting your assembly together. So I'll tell you what, this week, I am going to make sure, like immediately, I'm going to call, ask the president if we can have an early meeting, because I think it's so urgent that, if this does not change immediately, because every time you turn around, psychotic Cuomo here is, pushing it back another 15 days. We were supposed to open May 15th, and then it's June 1st. I think he's just pushed back again to June 15th or something.
Yeah, the Philippines, they've already, 2 weeks ago, moved it to the end of May. So it's ridiculous, but there we are. So it's a whole month more here. I'm in lockdown, right? I already know it, right? And I've already known that for 2 weeks. So I do have another piece of news, and maybe I wanted to make sure we touch on. We're just over an hour, and I want to make sure to cover this. Let me share it with you. Now we have basically talked about Kim Jong-un, right? Now he showed up, right, and for a ribbon cutting, and so I'm happy.
Kim Jong-un, the top leader of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, attended a ribbon-cutting ceremony of a fertilizer on Friday. The official Korean Central News Agency reported on Saturday that the completion ceremony of the fertilizer factory was splendidly held on May Day, the international holiday of the working people of the world. During the ribbon-cutting ceremony, Kim looked around at several places of the factory. He said, now it has become possible for the agricultural workers to concentrate all their efforts on attaining the grand goal set forth by the party. Kim was joined by his sister, Kim Yo-jong, as well as other senior officials, including Park Pong-chul, member of the president of the political bureau of the...
I must say it's a beautiful fertilizer factory. So I don't know if he is still, if that's, just all fertilizer they're feeding us right now, right? But it is, I'm happy to see that, because I think it's important that he completes his work with reducing the, denuclearize the peninsula of Korea. So I think that it goes a long way if he's still around. So hopefully that's where he's been, and those were the rumors. They were all just rumors. But Trump never seemed to think as though that he actually was in any danger. He kind of hinted that he was alive, as much as anything. So that was a good sign. But of course, and you have these other reports that I brought up the other day, is that he had passed away. Now this is saying, hey, he's alive. He showed up for ribbon cutting at a fertilizer factory. So I just find it a little odd that it happens to be a fertilizer factory that he shows up at.
Yeah.
So the symbolic reason is that they're just feeding us a bunch of fertilizer. Maybe it's a body double, something like that. But it did seem to be him.
Yeah, it's crazy. What is this? You know what, Dan? I've got to jump off, man. I got to respond to something, and it's kind of important.
Go ahead. That's why
we
we're just
good?
finishing.
Anything else, Andrew?
No, that was it. I just wanted to get that one in because we had talked about it the other day. I think it's important to know he's supposedly alive, so I think that's a good sign. That's about it.
Good. All right, cool. Appreciate you. I'll start working on BitChute. And everybody, you have a great night. Talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Bye, everyone. Well, still subscribe, even though at some point they will turn this into a utility and remove all the censorship, and then we'll be full speed back here. And we'll still be full speed here for the next week as we do a transition to BitChute. But the only thing is that we won't be live. So we'll have to carry our live conversation, our live chat over into, say, a Telegram group for that. Maybe we'll just have a special broadcast Telegram group, right? And we will then run that, and then we'll interact with that during the show as well. See how that works. 'Cause I know we have a very active group, but it won't be active at all if they shut down the channel. So we might as well go ahead and make this move, and I think we'll do quite well over there. Especially, I think once we the people that are watching this, even if you see it like a week or 2 weeks later, you'll know, hey, get over to BitChute. I'll go ahead and I'll add our BitChute link down below as well, so we can start. You can start subscribing if you want to. We don't have very much of anything over there right now. Let me take a look and see where are we at here. See if I don't know it well enough to find how many subscribers we have very quickly. So. I'm just learning it myself. Right there, maybe that's the one. 17. So we've got 17 subscribers. Anyway, so it's under wwg1wga.love as the channel. We'll go ahead and I'll post that down below here, and then hopefully we'll see you over there as we transition. So until then, we will see you tomorrow.